From Comic-Con to the box office and now to TV, everybody is talking superheroes. And Batman and Superman, arguably, the two greatest ever. But who's the real king of the genre? It's intellect versus strength, and Wayne Manor versus the Fortress of Solitude. It's Batman versus Superman today in The Loop, presented by Yaris. Joining us tonight, associate editor for Maxim magazine, John Wild is here, comic writer and creator of the graphic novel Recess Pieces, Bob Fingerman, and artist and Superman aficionado, Carl Heitmuller. Gentlemen, all of you from the great city of New York, thank you for joining us in The Loop today. John, got to start with you. I know you're a fan of the funny books. You like the ink on the page. Who's your favorite hero, though? Is it Superman or Batman?
I mean, the easy choice there, it's got to be Batman, and for one real big reason, because you only need two things to be Batman. And the great thing about Batman is the fact that he's real. He's a human being who made himself into a superhero. And you only need two things. One, you need $1 billion, which not easy to come by, but you can do it. And two, a willingness to kick bad guys' asses.
But by that rationale, if Bill Gates had a mean streak, he could be Batman. That doesn't sound so cool.
And for all you know, he's running around in a cape and kicking thieves' butts, but that's all you need to be Batman.
All right, Bob, what do you say? I mean, who's your favorite hero here and why?
Well, see, I'm kind of the creamy nougat center of neutrality between the Superman camp and the Batman camp. But if push came to shove, I'd lean towards Batman.
And why is he going to be your favorite?
That's right.
Well, Superman is basically a god, so he's kind of been given everything as his birthright. Batman, you know, he's a rich kid, but he kind of had to earn his place in the superhero realm.
Carl, is it Superman's fault he was born with a super silver spoon in his mouth, or should he have to work for his powers?
I think he had to do a little bit of working. He had to hone them. But, you know, I think Superman gets such a bad rap. I mean, you guys alone doing a little super bashing at the outset of the show. I mean, the thing is, he could be a bad guy if he wanted to. He could rule the world, but he just, what does this guy want to do? Just wants to help. I mean, it's such a bleak, nihilistic world. Do we really need that in our heroes as well? How about just a good guy who's being a good guy for the sake of being a good guy?
See, here's where I'm the mushy one, because I agree. There's nothing wrong with somebody who's just unabashedly good.
And but you know what, is there something wrong with it, with the vanity aspect to it? It seems like Superman only lifts a train or stops a locomotive if there's some cameras around.
He's got to put on a show. I mean, come on, wouldn't you? I mean, at least he's not driving around in basically a giant Hummer and destroying property like all the rooftops of Gotham City that he messed up. But
that's true. Oh wow, he got so upset that you upset Bob like we've never seen before. John, let me go back to you here, because that's true. Batman's a little bit of a recluse here.
He is, and I mean, that's the great thing about him, because the fact that he's everything you want to be if you had his situation. You kind of want to be good, but you want to have those toys where you want to have a Hummer that drives over anything, whether it's a cop car or it's a bad guy's car.
So you'd rather have the Hummer that drives over everything than be able to fly and be invulnerable and have heat vision and have X-ray vision? And
the problem with Superman is exactly that. No, yeah, exactly, because the thing with Superman is he's like a third grader's drawing come to life. I mean, they just stopped short of giving him like buzzsaws for arms. I mean, anybody can make up a guy like that.
That's true. It seems like Superman is like the kitchen sink of superheroes.
What he is the quintessential superhero. And Batman and every single other superhero wouldn't exist if it weren't for all of those elements, some of which existed before Superman, but that Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster put together in a way that had never been done before, and really every superhero after that is, to one extent or another, an imitation of him.
I can't imagine there wasn't a kindergartner with Crayolas that wasn't putting together Superman before them.
Well, it was the Depression, and kindergartners couldn't afford Crayolas. They were basically...
They actually had to cut their wrists and paint with their own blood. It's sad time.
Exactly,
Let's not get there. Let's talk about the epic battle between these two, because that's what this is about. Superman versus Batman. So, John...
It's not even a debate.
Well, I got to start with John here, because, he's going for Batman here. And I think, and I'm sorry, Carl, but if you look at the movie, let's look at, Superman Returns. Lex Luthor gives him the old Oz shank, and Superman's going down. So how can Superman even expect to take on someone like Batman?
Well, exactly. but apparently Superman has built up such an immunity to kryptonite that he's now able to lift an entire continent that's laced with it. So I don't think he has that many weaknesses by the end of that film.
That is
That's
true,
great.
John.
So-
What say you?
Oh yeah, that's great because so you can take a superhero and just when he's about to be defeated by kryptonite, suddenly he can't be defeated by kryptonite anymore. That's great.
But you're not talking about the character inherently. You're talking about flaws in a movie about a character.
All right, so who's winning the battle, Carl, and why? Superman or Batman?
This is the battle. Okay, Superman versus Batman. Blink. Battle's over. Superman won. Sorry, Batman, but
Interesting, John, because I have seen this battle in comics before. I thought Batman stood a chance. I thought he could actually win a couple times.
I mean, the great thing about Batman is he's a dude that when you push him, he's going to push back even harder. I mean, that's what his whole life's built on, right? His parents got murdered, so he went even more badass and bought himself the coolest superhero kit in the world. So
another spoiled billionaire.
We've got the
exactly.
world
At
has
least
too many
Clark
of those.
Kent works for a living.
That's right. Can't fault a man for holding the day job, guys. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. I'm sorry that Bob
pleasure.
got so angry he had to pull the plug, but we may never know who will win, but I'm sure Catwoman, she'd own both of them. Thanks to John, Bob, and Carl for keeping us in the loop.